I am Ron. Welcome, Ageless Balance. We're going to do core today. We're going to do seated and standing core because we talked about balance on Monday. And I'll just repeat what was in our notification today is that so core involves a couple things. One is having the strength in the legs. Another is the signals from the brain to the body, telling it what to do, when to do it, where to go. And then another piece is core because you need to stack. Everything that you have needs to be right above your base of support. If you're on one leg, it's right up there. If it's on two legs, you got two legs there, it should be up in the middle. Because if you're leaning this way, if you don't have the core strength and you're off balance, especially on one leg, you can't get yourself back up again. So here we are working core. Quick talk. Core, bottom of the rib cage all the way down to the bottom of the pelvis, front and back all the way around. A lot of people just think core are the abs just in front of the stomach here. That's not the case. It is everything all the way around. It is a barrel, it's a cylinder. So, first thing we want to do is work on our breathing for core work. Let me start that over again. First thing we want to work on is our breathing for core work. So, starting out in neutral, ears over shoulders over hips, looking right straight out in front of you at whatever's right there. That's what you're looking at. Start here. With that, you're going to take a deep breath. Bring the arms up as you do, in through the nose. We breathe in through the nose, so we have that small orifice that drives the air deeper. And then you push the stomach out just a little bit, and then exhale. As you exhale, tightening up the core, like you're going to take a punch to the stomach, and all the way down. Again, in through the nose, bring it up. Get your neutral. Bring the arms right up next to the ears. Deep breath in through the nose and exhale, purse lips, nice and slow, tightening those muscles up. So a lot of people I've heard say, push the stomach out. It's not about the stomach out. It's not sucking the stomach in. It's none of that. It's tightening those muscles up, giving yourself all sorts of strength in there for stability. So one more time, in and exhale. Bringing the arms down. You should have felt that, especially the lower abs from the belly button down to the top of that pelvis. What we're doing is we're strengthening that up. We're tightening it up. As it gets smaller, it's going to bring that pelvis up and lengthen out the back to stabilize the spine. The lower lumbar. All right, so that's the upper and lower, which is one muscle. We got the obliques over here, which do rotation for us. So to get into those, we want to just do a little circle or a little rotation. Hands up right here, GD style. Chin follows hands, follows chest. Small move to start out with. Bring it around and back again. So you don't start out with a real big move. Those muscles are tight yet. They're cold. We want to warm them up first. So take it a little bit at a time. Around, chin follows chest. What you're looking for here, cueing on the sits bones. They're flat on the chair. They stay there. They don't twist. If you do that, you're putting all sorts of stress on the spine. The other thing you're not doing is getting the rotation out of the spine where you should be. So the only place that rotates on the back is in the middle of the spine, the thoracic spine, right in the middle. Anything above it, anything below it is solid. So what you want to do is keep those shoulders back, elbows out, keeping the shoulders in a straight line as you do that rotation. Don't let anything twist below the lower or the middle of the back. And bring it back up again because it won't twist. It'll take the hips with it. That's the only way you can get the lower body to turn is something has to give. And usually it's your back not hurting. That gives out. And then all of a sudden you got pain back there. All right, arms out to the side. We're going to get a little more aggressive. We've taken time warming it up. First thing we're going to do, get the shoulder blades back, put us in neutral. Spine does one thing. We want it stacked so that we can rotate it. Bring the shoulders around. Chin follows chest. And bring it back with more lever length through those arms. With more lever length through those arms, you can get just a little more rotation. Again, we're just warming them up. You never go as hard as possible when you first start out. That is just a problem if you do that. So next thing we're going to do is take the arms out to the side. Again, what you just did up here, you're going to be doing down here, except shoulders stay in a straight line. It's just that the arms are coming down this time. Bring them around, squeeze, feel the muscles work all the way down the side of the back. Other side, same thing, around, back stays straight. So what you don't want to do is turn the hips, lean into this in any way. If you do that, you're taking the spine, you're bending it forward and you're rotating it at the same time. That is not good for it. It is definitely not good for it. We're going to paddle. Hand up on top, bring the arms down, rotate, exhale right here. Feel the muscles engage on the outside. They contract, bringing us around, rotating us that way. And then to the other side. You saw my hand down there. Pet me. And back up one more time each side. Down. And the other way. So all you need to really concern yourself with there is the shoulders staying straight and the hip bones not moving. As long as those two happen, the only thing that can turn is the middle of the back. Hands up here, little teapot action. Shoulder blades back, chest out, chin up, getting back into that neutral. Always start in neutral. And by bringing those elbows back as far as you can get them, that kind of brings the head up all on its own. It puts you into neutral in a nice way. We're going to do side bends this time. Again, be careful. Feel the sits bones. No pressure greater on one side than the other. You don't lift the hip as you come over. Stay right there. Feet are flat on the floor. Knees are in front. And a slight bend, keeping the head up and back again. What you don't want to do is bring the head way down. You're not looking to get super deep into this. All you want to feel are these muscles tighten up and these muscles stretch on the other side. And up, back over on the other side. Again, exhale every time you go into that contraction. If you do it without, try doing it without the exhale going down on the side, going down on the other side. And then do it with that contraction, or do the exhale with it. Feel how much more those muscles engage. Stay down in that contraction for just a couple counts, just a couple, until all the air's out of the lungs, and then come back up again. Again, purse the lungs as you do that. Don't let yourself just, and it's all gone at one time. Take those muscles, tighten them up, force the air out by keeping the lips closed just a little bit so that it has to, lower abs have to push harder to move that air out. Right here, hands on thighs, that's where we're going. First thing we're going to do is just a forward bend, feet flat on the floor, knees, hips, toes right out in front of you and lean into it. Shoulder blades back, chest is out. If you need help keeping those shoulder blades back, just bring the arms back. If you find yourself like this, just one time, pull the arms back, bring the chin up. You're going to feel this little curve in the lower part of your back go into place. That curve is meant to be there. That helps stabilize the back. One more time, out. And then you want to do that with your hands on the hips. So I do it with a little help first like this, so I can get that feeling of the shoulder blades back and what it feels like to have that curve in the lower part of the back. So that when I bring my hands down to here, I'll put that right back in place again. That feeling needs to be there. Hi, you're really needy right now. All right, same thing to the side, keeping the torso upright. Don't lean off to the side. You're taking the torso and shifting at the hips out to the side and bring it back in. Really important on this. And go on to the other side. Really important on this that you keep that spine in neutral as you do this. A little bit out. It's not a big move. What you're going to feel is lower, getting into the lower back, getting into the lower part of the core, right above the hips, instead of this all the way from the rib cage down. To the side and up. Other side. And back up. Backwards we go. So shoulders back, just small move. Don't go way back. Your front move, your side move, your back move, they should all be about the same as you're doing this. What we're trying to do is get that rotation. So we want to rotate through the hips, front to the side, shoulder blades stay back the whole time. The neck never moves. Nothing moves except the hips. So it's forward to the side, back, and up. Opposite direction. Super small move. This one, you've got to be really careful on. If you let the chin come down and you let the whole torso rotate, you're going to feel it in the back. You're going to feel it, and it's not in a good way. Not at all. Back. And around one more time, opposite direction. It's a small move, but you're tightening up that entire core to hold that spine in place as you make those rotations. All right. Feet apart just a little bit. Give yourself a little more stability. Hands on the chest. That backward thing we did, we're going to do it again, except you're going to just go back a little bit. Stop right here. Deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale, coming forward. Again, back. Don't go very far on this one. Shoulder blades have to stay back here. It's another one where chin comes to chest. If you don't keep that gap between the chin and the chest, you're going to stress that lower back. And then exhale as you come forward. So you get a feel for that of what it's like. Try doing it without the exhale. So roll back and then just bring yourself up. And you feel all those muscles working to try to pull you up. If you get back here and you exhale, it's just like it pulls you right up. You're still using the muscles, but you're using everything that you possibly can to bring you up. When you pick anything up, your back should always be straight. When you go down, when you come up, there should never be a lean like this. You want to get yourself in neutral right here. All right, one more time. Back. See if you can get just a little deeper with it. Breathe in and exhale. As you exhale, you're tightening up those abs. What's happening is those stomach muscles right here, all the way around, are contracting. As they do, they push the diaphragm up into the bottom of the lungs, and you exhale is what happens. Up in a march, bringing that foot up off the floor. So remember, you can always start out. This one is just like every other part of your body, every other muscle. You need to warm it up before you go into it too hard. So you don't just come right out and get that knee up and touch the nose and all of that. What you're doing is just bring the heel up, get it warmed up, get it started, and start popping off the ball of the foot before you go into trying to lift it up. But when you do start lifting, hip, knee, ankle, toe, I will just push this forever, as that alignment is so important for your muscle or for your joints. If you're out of alignment, one, you're out of balance. Two, you're putting stress on one part of that joint only. So you want those shoulder blades back just like before. If you need to, just lightly fingertips on the back of the chair like that and start doing it, getting yourself out to the edge of the chair. So you don't want to be back here. There's really nothing working if you do that. Move yourself out a little bit. And your modifications here, your adjustments are how far out you can come. You don't want to come any farther than that little gap between the butt and the hamstrings or the back of the thigh. That's your glute fold. Start bringing them up and up. Again, you were back here, shoulders back. It's so easy to do this. Back and back. I'm forever yelling at myself for that. All right. This is a great thing to do anytime you're seated. Absolutely. Anytime you're seated, keeping the shoulder blades back. It's easy to maintain form. And once you can teach the brain that everything needs to be lined up, when you walk, it'll be so much easier to keep it that way. So just practice this way. All right. We're going to just bring that knee up and over this time. So it's a small move. Up, heel out, squeeze, and back down. Again, if you're having any problems with this, hold on to the bottom of the chair. The other thing you want to make sure of is that you're not pulling those sits bones off the chair again. It's not twisting. So what you're not doing is turning the whole body to bring that knee across. All you're doing is keeping the shoulder blades back, knee comes up, heel comes out, and then squeeze the front of the hip. All we're doing is hitting these hip flexors in a different angle. So we get strength and density through that entire set of muscles, not just one spot when you pick it up straight. Across and back, up and back. All right. With that, hands up in cactus, we go. What we're going to do is rotate the shoulders as we bring the knee up and across and go back. Here again, what you don't want to do, you don't have to touch the knee. You don't touch the knee. It's not that you don't want to. You can't. All you're doing is rotating the shoulders at the same time you're bringing that leg up. You're going to feel all the muscles working up, hip all the way down, and you're going to feel the obliques working on the other side to do that rotation. Sorry, let's try that again. There we go. And back. And back. So it's just rotation in the upper body and lifting that leg up in the front and back. And right there, bring it back. Arms down. That was so much fun. Hip hinge, shoulders back, chest out. In alignment right here. Hands on the thighs for the first couple. Again, you just want to start stretching the muscles out. You're going to feel a stretch coming up the back chain, and you're also going to feel it on the inner thighs as you do this. Use the hands. Keep the shoulder blades back, looking down at the floor and coming back up. So we're starting to work those muscles, coming down, everything straight, hold there, and again, exhale. As you come up, it is just like this whole part of the body is just lifting you up. You're not having to pull. The muscles are doing the work, all of them. So it's so much easier to get back up again. All right, if you can, hands at the side, shoulder blades back. And then again, roll the shoulder blades back, bring the chin up, exhale as you come up. Before you ever come up, you want to make sure the spine is in neutral. So if you're down here and you're bending, the first thing you always want to do, shoulder blades back, chin out, chest up, exhale, and bring yourself back up again. Never start bent over and then all of a sudden the back's coming up. Shoulders first, neutral position, and bring yourself up. Arms up here, we're cactusing again, and down. This time as you go into that hip hinge right here, rotate the shoulders, chin follows chest, feet stay flat on the floor, sits bones, even pressure all the way through. Bring it back and up. Other side, down. In and up. Few more, couple more. And turn it, bring it back and up, keeping that back straight. We're taking small moves so that you can really concentrate. Elbows back, shoulders in a straight line, hip hinge, rotation, back and up. Last one, down, over, up, and back. Shake that out. So what happens here, when somebody says, do one of those cross-body knee, elbow thingies, here's what you really need to be doing is you're picking that leg up, you're bringing it in. At the same time, you're going into a hip hinge and rotating the shoulders back and up. Bending the back and reaching for the knee does nothing but strain those muscles up the spine and the vertebrae as they rub together. So what you want to do anytime you're doing one of these, it's hip hinge first, then a rotation, back and up. Exhale here. Everything's contracted. Bring it back and bring it up. Lower abs are working to lift that leg up right there with that hip hinge. And then the obliques are working. Get that rotation and bring it back up. One more time each side. And up. Last one. Knee up. You go down. Turn. In and down. So I was watching a video on this, and here's what the person did. They did this. And this is supposed to be a core exercise. It's not. Anytime you bring that elbow across like that, all you're doing is using these muscles across the chest to pull that arm in. What you're not doing is using those obliques to bring you around. It is easy to cheat core exercises. Be careful with that. All right, down in the sides. We're going to reach just a little bit deeper this time on a side bend. So it's coming down. Pull that shoulder down. So a huge piece of doing the core exercises is getting these lats in the side of the back. And you exhale, bring you down and back up again. Same on the other side. So there's a little bend in here, but the most important part is getting that shoulder down at the same time, using those muscles underneath the shoulder blade right here to pull it down. Muscles pull. That's all they do. They don't push. And up. So when you're coming back up, you're not pushing with that side, you're pulling with that opposite side and up. It was amazing to me. All right. When I first learned that, I was like, well, that makes sense. Blinding flash of the obvious. How come I didn't think of that before? End up, I'm kind of showing my stupidity. Okay, down to the other side. Exhale, hold it, and bring it back, keeping the ears and the shoulders in line each time. So what you should feel is all the muscles working along the side of the torso, as well as going around toward the spine, other side. You've engaged all of those for this. Bring it back up. Hands on the thighs. Cat and cow. Shoulders forward. Okay. So I brought my chin to my chest. Don't do that. I was showing you what not to do. Don't do that. It is roll the shoulders down toward the floor. Stretching out the upper back is what you're looking for. And then as you come up, remember, shoulder blades back, chest out, and then bring the arms behind you, grabbing onto the back of the chair, opening up the chest, deep breath in, stomach out, feel the muscles open up or feel the lungs open up on the lower part of them, and then exhale, bringing the shoulders forward. Hands on the thighs. Again, shoulders forward, not chin to chest. Deep breath in, stomach out, and then exhale. Bring yourself all the way back. Hands down. Stay right there. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We got one more to do. One leg up, out, in, and down. What we're doing here, we're lifting with the hip flexor right here. Shoulder blades are back, working all those muscles through the core to keep the shoulder blades back, chest out. And now we're going to extend at the foot, or extend the foot, extend at the knee. What you're using is the quadriceps here. They shorten up, lifting that lower leg. The other thing that's happening is the muscles in the back chain have to work harder because now that foot's farther away. As it comes in, less work, and back down. Same with the other side. Up, out, in, and down. No movement through the hip, sits bones, and make sure those knees stay straight, especially that brace leg. So when you're coming up and out with that leg, don't let yourself twist or turn or let this knee drop out to the side to counterbalance. Keep it right where it is. The muscles that are not moving are working as hard or harder as the ones that are. And back down. Those other muscles are having to keep everything else in place. Out, in, and down. Last one. Out, in, and down. Remember how we didn't do sit to stands on Monday? You remember that? Everybody remember that? Even if you weren't here, do you remember that? We're going to do sit to stands. Scooch. Scooch out to the edge of the chair. We did hip hinges right here and back. First part of a sit to stand or a squat is coming forward right here. These things right here at the back of your feet, heels, should be behind the knee just a little bit. As you go through, you're not putting any weight into the toes whatsoever. You're doing this hip hinge. As you come forward, you're pushing through the back half of the foot. So instead of going like this, coming way out to the front, it is using this back chain, keeping all the weight out of the knees. These are big muscle groups that you're using to stand up. They're the important ones. They're the ones that are going to protect the joints. Step back, down in the chair, nice and slow. If you need to, put the hands on the thighs to slow this drop down. But what you want is this nice, easy, feel the weight starting to shift into the back of the feet and get down as slow as you can. You're really going to feel that work. Scooch, scooch back out. There you go. You're scooched. Shoulders back. Farther you can get out on the chair, the easier this is. So first thing we're going to do, shoulder blades back, coming into that hip hinge, pushing through the heels, and driving up. And we're good with those. The beauty, I'm going to have a drink of water here. So the way you do it when you're coming up is you're coming down at the same time that you're going into that hip hinge. You're also starting to roll the hips at the same time. So you've got some momentum to help you up instead of getting out here and stopping. And then if you're twisting when you're getting up, use something to help you up. This is terrible for the entire back and the knees and the hips and the ankles. Same with sitting down. you do one of these, sit down on one side first and kind of fall into place, or the plop, the dreaded plop. You're putting all sorts of stress on all sorts of body parts, and you're using muscles that can't handle it. You want to use these big muscles, quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, to do all the work. The minute you put it into the front of the foot, you're putting it in through the knee, and knee's not made for that. All right. You ready? For the next piece, the next part of this, hip flexor march, leg up, leg down. Again, hip flexors lifting. That's all they're doing right now. And back down. Hold on to the chair. These are core exercises, all of them, not balance exercises. I don't want you having to spend all your time trying to get yourself in a stable position. Hold on to the chair so you can concentrate just on these muscles. Hip flexors, squeeze, and back down. Don't forget, as you exhale, as you bring that knee up, you're also exhaling. When you get to the top, that last crunch that you do with this muscle that runs from the hips to the ribs is going to pull that pelvis up, and it's going to bring the leg with it. You know you've done it then. You absolutely know you've done it when that leg just gives you that little bit of an extra poof, like that. Squeeze and back down. Take your time. Knee comes up as high as it can. It does not have to come up to here. Wherever you can get that leg up to. Stationary leg, ball the foot to the heel, knee a little bend in it. And back down, other side. It's a very slow march. So however high you can bring that leg up doesn't matter. But what matters is wherever that point is, that you're doing that exhale and bring it up just a little bit more. And back down. Arm away from the chair is up. Leg next to the chair. Hip flexor. Bring the elbow down and back up. We're going to stay on that side. Notice we're not collapsing down, because good chance that you're going to roll the shoulders at the same time, which is going to take that lower back and twist it and strain those muscles. What you want is, so really what you're doing is you're bringing the chest forward. You're not letting that chin drop. You're looking right straight out in front of you and back. Obliques do the rotation, bringing that shoulder around. Hip flexors lift the leg, lower abs help, and back up and down, up. One more. So there was that side. Now there's the other side. And now for the rest of the exercise. Bring it down for Paul Harvey fans. And out. Again, bring it down using these lat muscles to help bring the shoulder blade down. Crunch. And back out. One more time. And back out. If you're exhaling, if you're holding in the contracted position, you should now feel muscles work from the top of the butt, going up the sides of the back to the rib cage, hip flexors on the lift. So we've got all of those muscle groups working together on that exercise. You don't need the chair for this one. Feet out wide, right there. Arms up. First thing we're going to do is just do a box or a boxing punch, jab, out and back, out. Just start with that. And then you start exhaling as you do it, doing that hard and back in. Here's what you want to prevent against. This. Don't rotate. Nothing good happens there. You're not rotating the middle of the back. You're just putting all sorts of stress on the lower back. So it's out and back. Stable base like the Karate Kid. All right. So what you can do with this is we can start doing that rotation, but through the shoulders. So it's out, punch across, and bring it in. Here's the most important piece of this besides not letting the back turn or the hips turn, is this shoulder, the one going to the back, is the important one. That's pulling that other one around. And the only thing that's moving is the thoracic spine in the middle of the back. And in and back. And you can go as far as you want with that rotation and push as long as you're not letting those hips go. And the way you can tell that is if these knees go out to the, if these knees or your knees or the bee's knees, if they start twisting, you know that you're starting to twist the hips. If the feet are flat on the floor and back and back, the knees aren't moving. The minute those knees move, you're going to feel a weight shift in the feet or movement. And back, out, and back, out, and back. Okay, so that was a good one for that rotation. That was really good for that. Now we're going to do a side bend. Stay wide here, arm up to the side, reach up at a diagonal over the top, and take the body with it. Squeeze these muscles on the outside of that contracted side. Reach and bring it back in. What you don't want to do is bend this lead knee and roll into it. Just for right now, knees stay bent, feet flat on the floor. Only thing you're concerned about is bring that arm right up over the ear. Exhale, feel the muscles work. This shoulder, pulling down, using those lats to help pull that shoulder blade down. And back. Arm is up, ear stays on the inside of that upper arm so you don't drop the head down and hurt the neck. And up. One more time. Each side, the contracted side doing the work to pull, other side, and back again. Into a stagger stance. This one, if you need a chair, go for it. We're going to have the feet. You're going to have your feet there, one in front of the other, apart. So hip width apart or wider, and then you got one up, one back. Feet should be parallel. They're usually not. I have to look at them all the time to make sure that I'm not in with that heel on the back leg. First thing you do here, if you're having problems with balance right here, take that back foot, step it out to the side, give yourself a wider base. If you want to make this more challenging, you start bringing that back leg in closer to the other leg, but you keep that distance between the feet. That never changes. You're just adjusting with that back leg by how far out to the side you go. So now you get that. Everything's pointed forward. There it is. Whoa. Knee over the ankle, that doesn't change. Stays right there. Nothing here moves. Nothing from the hips down on this side. What's going to want to happen is that knee's going to want to go out. You're going to feel that foot start to roll up because we're going to rotate on this. And it's just nice and stable, super stable base. You're right in between the legs, in your base of support, and then rotate the shoulders, coming around, and bring it back nice and slow. Hands down. We're going to do that again. Chin follows chest, hands right in alignment, elbows up so the shoulder blades are straight. Exhale, hold, and bring it back in again. If you feel any tweaking in the lower part of your back, stop. Don't go that far. What you probably have to do, come out of it immediately, roll the shoulder blades back, make sure that you've got that upright position with that little curve in the lower part of the back, and then try it again. If you still feel it, don't turn that far. Especially if you put a little strain in it and you've irritated it, you may not be able to do it here for a few hours then if you were to try it again. All right, this is going to make it a little more challenging. Arms right straight out in front, shoulder blades back, chest out, and chin follows hands around. Nothing changes here as far as that back shoulder doing the work. It's pulling. Hips don't turn, feet are flat on the floor, knees are pointed forward, toes forward, and bring it back again and set it down. Other side, same thing. Feet in alignment. Back foot straight too. Front knee stays over the ankle, right straight over the ankle. You want to stack those joints and keep them there. Hands up first, get ready. Doing just a small rotation first. Make sure it feels good. Shoulder blades are back. I felt a little bit in my lower back, so I knew that I wasn't upright as I should be. Bring it around and follow it back to center. Arms up front, same thing. Follow the fingers around. Only go as far as you can without falling over. I said to myself, I says, and bring it back and in. Here's what makes this fun. We do it as a dynamic movement. So first stepping out forward, right there. So it's a lunge, it's a step on the heel, foot down flat, knee stops over the ankle, rotate, bring it back to center, nice and slow, keeping those shoulder blades back, and in. Then we go to the other side, same thing. Out, stop, knee over ankle, arms out front, squeeze hard. Now here's where you got to be careful. When you come back in, so right here we're thinking, okay, we're done with the exercise. We just kind of relax. Don't relax. Don't ever relax. This isn't a meditation class. Okay, other side. A mindfulness. Out. In and back. Out. Arms out. Add that dynamic movement to it. You're bringing in more muscle groups. They have to move you, and then they have to just hold right there as you start doing that rotation at the same time and bringing it back. So it puts a lot more strain on the muscles, making them work just a little bit harder. Back to the chair. We're going to go single leg again. Up and back down. We did this on Monday. Let me show it this way. I'm going to take that outside leg, a little bend in the knee, just lifting right straight up and bring it down, concentrating the first couple times, not bringing it up very high, keeping the shoulder blades back. There's so many pieces to this. Knees bent over the ankle, little tiny bend in the knee, foot's flat on the floor. That's the most important piece of being stable. And then lifting that other leg without letting your shoulders drop. And back down, up. And then you can start getting the breathing into it. And down. And back. You know, feel that mid thigh going all the way up into the top of the hips, as well as those lower abs as they take that final little crunch. Other side, same thing. Lifting that leg. Again, this isn't a balance exercise. I want you to concentrate on form and feeling those muscles work all through the front chain up to the belly button. Again, height doesn't matter whatsoever. You may bring it up 2 inches off the floor, and then you do that. Feel that leg come just a little bit. Also remembering, don't let the chin and chest come together. Come together right now. Beatles thing. Arm up. We're going to bring it forward. Just like in that when we did the punch out, we're going to keep the back straight. Leg comes up, arm comes out. They're not touching. I don't even, to try to get even close to the leg, you're going to have to roll the shoulders down. It's going to have to happen. That means nothing. All you're doing is bring that leg up, arm down. Shoulders are going to roll forward. Hips going to come up. And back down. And you're going to feel this little rotation through the obliques on the side at the same time. And up. And back. One more. For the good times. Other side. Because working core is always the good times. Up. Reach. Hold in the contracted position. Arm is down, right straight out in front of the chest. Leg is up, wherever that is for you, but it's in alignment. And then you do that hard exhale. Chest goes out, leg comes up, feeling that muscle. Muscle goes from the ribs to the hips. One muscle, when you contract it, it brings it all together. Come together and back. Now, one more. Squeeze it. Bring it back in, bring it down. Sit on down, grab a drink of water. We have enough time to cool off. Cool it off. Nice and slow coming down. Take your time. Keep the back straight. So I will use my hands. What I'll do is I'll come down and once I find the chair, I'll let my arms help me a little bit. Putting that weight back, letting the arms bring me down. All you want to make sure of is that you're not bending when you go to stand up, and you're not twisting, turning, folding, spindling, mutilating, whatever those things are. Feet apart, hands on the thighs, knees and toes in the same direction. And you're coming down the middle. You'll be coming down the middle when you come. And push back up. I use the hands. Again, all I'm trying to do is get a stretch here. I want the hamstrings, the glutes, inner thighs, all to stretch out nicely. Take a deep breath. Exhale. You don't have to come down. You stop the minute you can feel the muscles stretching. Remember, muscles only do so much. Once they start to stretch, the body's grabbing on in the opposite direction and pulling that muscle back. There's these fibers that pull that muscle back. So you're trying to stretch. It's trying to pull that muscle back because it thinks you're hurting yourself. And you get this tug of war that you never win. You will not beat it. Once you feel that stretch, you're done. The body's fighting you from that point on. So don't go past that point. That's why you get hurt if you overstretch. All right. We're going to take hands behind the back, roll the shoulder blades back, chest is out, and do a forward lean. Just hip hinge. Deep breath. Bring yourself back up. Use the fingertips on the back of the chair. Little like that to bring you up. Enter right there. Exhale. Feet one over the other. One in front, one foot in front of the other, and over. And then do a hip hinge right here. When you get as far down as you can get in a hip hinge where you haven't rolled the back, that's when you come down. Deep breath in, exhale. Remember, shoulder blades back first. Little curve in the lower part of the back. Once the spine is straight, then you exhale to come back up again. Use all the muscles. That's what they're there for. All right, other side. Weak muscles will continue to get weaker. Strong muscles will continue to get stronger. And you create this horrible imbalance in the muscle groups. Strongest muscle will always try to do the work. And you don't always want that because the strongest muscle may not be the right muscle, or it should be used in conjunction with other muscles, not doing it all itself. Check that out. Down on top of the thighs, arms underneath, or whatever you can get here. Bring it down. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale. Bring the arms up overhead. Again, deep breath in through the nose. Shoulder blades are back. Stretch out the chest. Stretch out the whole front chain. Chin down to hips. Deep breath in. Push the stomach out as far as it'll go. Then exhale. One more time. Up. Shoulder blades back first. Chin up. And then inhale as you come up over the top. And then exhale, bringing the arms down on the sides. Roll the shoulders around, roll them up, roll them back. Roll them. Okay, we're good. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. And I will see you again on Friday. Friday, we'll be back with an all new, fun, and exciting class.